see the core side of it.
And what you're looking for is the story behind the news.
We bring it to you from Lagos, the commercial capital of Nigeria.
Giving you all sides and political stories round the clock.
Every detail from the start line to the final whistle.
CoreTV News, expanding your view.
Welcome to CoreTV News on the Hour. I am Martins Dixon. Following the recent crisis in the Ekiti State and the killing of a former boss of the National Union of Road Transport Workers, Omolafe Aderuye, the state government has imposed a dusk-to-dawn curfew throughout the state. Rashid has more.
The atmosphere in Ekiti State is tense as a result of the recent crisis rocking the state. Youth alleged to be political thugs have invaded courts twice and destroyed court property and obstructed proceedings. A former boss of the National Union of Road Transport Workers, Omolafe Aderuye, was also killed. He is believed to be a close associate of a top politician in the state. Addressing the state in a broadcast, Ekiti State Governor Kayode Fayemi condemned the attack on the judiciary and directed the Attorney General to liaise with the State Chief Judge of the possibility of transferring all cases out of the state.
It is understandable that not a few stakeholders have expressed concern about what the development portends for Ekiti State. The brazen contempt of our hallowed law courts and the use of violence and intimidation to obstruct the course of justice is a clear invitation to anarchy and brigandage on the scale and texture that once characterized Ekiti State some years ago. Ekiti, are those years upon us again?
He further cautioned politicians to control their followers and supporters so as to avoid chaos.
The course of justice can only be delayed, but never truncated. The independence of the judiciary is an inviolable tenet of any democracy. Accordingly, I have this morning directed the Attorney General and Commissioner for Justice in the state to issue a legal advisory to the Chief Judge of the state and all the parties to the existing cases in the State High Court and the Ekiti State Governorship Elections Petitions Tribunal on the desirability of seeking an alternative venue for the hearing of these cases outside Ekiti State. The state can no longer afford to witness the bizarre spectacle of the beating up of a judicial officer and wanton intimidation of lawyers and court personnel.
The governor thus imposed a dusk-to-dawn curfew on the state.
Ekiti, in order to forestall further descent into anarchy in our state, I think all hands must now be on deck. And as the Chief Security Officer of the state, I have suspended my thank you tour, which I'm undertaking as part of my transitioning out formalities in the state. Also, I have taken the decision to institute a dusk-to-dawn curfew in the state immediately. Accordingly, there will be no movement between the hours of 7 p.m. and 7 a.m., and security agencies have been advised to effect this curfew maximally.
The rise in violence is coming just days before the transfer of power to the next government in the state. It is hoped that the curfew will help curb the violence. Rashid, CoreTV News, Ado Ekiti.
In neighboring Osun, the State Election Petition Tribunal sitting in Oksogbo has received the response of Governor Aregbesola, who won the August 9 governorship election. The PDP governorship candidate at the poll, Yola Emishere, is challenging the victory of Aregbesola at the tribunal. Rashid again has details.
The die is cast and the stage also set for the Election Petition Tribunal sitting in Oshogbo to start full hearing on the petition filed by Yola Emishere challenging the victory of Rauf Aregbesola at the August 9 governorship poll. The lead counsel for Aregbesola, Kunle Adegoke, says the legal team is ready to match the petition of Emishere word for word and page to page.
But today we are filing
for Ogbeni Rauf Aregbesola, there were allegations by the opposition to the effect that Ogbeni was avoiding service and he didn't want the tribunal to be able to hear their petition. But we have looked at the petition. There's no tiger in it. There's no lion in it. And Ogbeni is more than capable to defend the allegations therein. So we are here today filing the defense, and at the end of the day, we have amassed about 600 witnesses to counter their allegations who are already willing and able to defend the petition appropriately.
Principal witnesses like the Secretary to the Osun State Government and Commissioner for Women Affairs expressed optimism and confidence in the response of Aregbesola, adding that the election was free and fair.
And I was told the number of people that were accredited and they were counted after we've queued up, and the number of the people on the queue tallied with the one they've accredited in the voter. We did not engage in any malpractices to warrant the cancellation of the election. So we are optimistic that we are going to win.
We preach peace, and we wanted that we have a smooth election, contrary to what the opposition expected. So we're not going to give anything a chance. I stood there, I was there, and I ensured I voted. So if they check, they will know that I voted in one place, and I'm here. And of course, before then, we had done the work. The work for election is not done in just one day.
One of the victims of the alleged security harassment during the election, Fatai Diekola, says only APC has the moral right to challenge the August 9 election, not the PDP. He also affirms that victory is sure for Aregbesola.
Let's say I'm here to give solidarity to my people. And in view of the unusual government we have in the federation, because you must shine your face in this system, that's why there is nothing that is impossible in Nigeria now. We have a very clear and clean election in Osogbo local government and Olonda local government. If we are to complain at all, APC should be the party to complain.
Nigerians, particularly the people of Osun, are anxiously awaiting what next. Rashid, CoreTV News.
The Senate has approved President Goodluck Jonathan's request for a $1 billion loan to tackle security challenges in the country. This was after an extensive debate on the report that outlined some of the operational needs of the Nigerian military. The report.
The request was first made in July, but it was not until September that federal lawmakers began considering it. By then, Boko Haram insurgents had taken over some towns and villages in northeast Nigeria. The Joint Senate Committee on Thursday turned in a report that showed that Nigeria does not have enough helicopter gunships to battle the insurgents. It added that no new helicopter was bought since 1998 and that the military hardware Nigeria desires are to be paid for over a 7-year period.
These findings, in our opinion, some of them also are of security implications, but members can read them. But may I say that the equipment hardware covers helicopters, ships, armaments, and other hardware equipment. Therefore, it covers both land and sea security. The recommendation, in view of the Joint Committee's findings, the terms and conditions of the loan agreement, and the urgent need to restore full normalcy in the country, the Joint Committee recommends that the Senate approve the external loan in kind of $1 billion to tackle the ongoing security challenges.
This elicited some protests from opposition senators who wanted due process followed, but they were overruled by the majority.
Mr. President, this request, to the best of my ability and with the assistance of this Constitution, has consequences for the existing Appropriation Act. We do not question the right of Mr. President to ask for money or ask to borrow money, but there is a process that needs to be followed. And the provision of the Constitution for this process is what I just read. Mr. President,
in appealing that we do not go into any debate on this matter. And I'm so worried because of the character of the debate. I don't want a situation where we leave these chambers and the public will believe that one political party is supporting a fight against insurgents and another political party is not supporting it. That is so. I don't want any place. Yes, that's what's happening here. So that is serious. That is a serious situation. If the debate.
The Senate unanimously approved the request, with Senate President David Mark providing the last word on the issue.
Those in favor that the Senate approves the external loan in kind of $1 billion to tackle the ongoing security challenges in the Northeast, say aye. Against, say nay. The ayes have it.
With the Senate's decision to approve the request, the Nigerian authorities now wait for the House of Representatives' position before sealing the $1 billion arms purchase deal.
Adamawa State chapter of the People's Democratic Party has accused the All Progressives Congress of planning to rig the forthcoming governorship by-election in the state. The accusation was made by the PDP state chairman, Joel Madaki. It followed the observation by the party that the alleged reluctance of the PPC to embark on political campaign. The ruling party claimed that the APC had instead engaged in campaigns of calumny against its candidate, Amadou Fintiri, who is also the state acting governor. The PDP state chairman says except the APC had something up its sleeves, which is possibly to rig the elections, it will not be hesitating to engage the Adamawa electorate. He therefore called on the APC not to challenge the outcome of the polls when the verdict is out with frivolous petitions, since it had failed to engage with the electorate fairly. Barely 1 week after the People's Democratic Party adopted President Goodluck Jonathan as its sole candidate for next year's election, the pro-Jonathan group says other parties should toe a similar path. The Goodluck Initiative for Jonathan made the demand at a news conference in Abuja. The group says that Jonathan has done enough to deserve unanimous support from all registered political parties.
That we have gathered today to call on all political parties in Nigeria. We believe that if the president is doing well, we must support the president. This call is to every political party in Nigeria. We want them to sow the same seed the People's Democratic Party has shown, that President Goodluck Jonathan should be readily and easily adopted by all the political parties in Nigeria, because this will help in making sure that the huge resources that we expended, especially with the primaries and the selection process and INEC, we can channel those resources to other pressing issues in Nigeria today. Because the moment every political party adopts President Goodluck Jonathan as the only candidate, I think Nigeria will begin to work as a peaceful nation once and for all, and the issues of sectionalism, religion will never come into our play again.
We'll be taking a break and the news continues thereafter. Don't go away.
There is an Ebola virus epidemic in some West African countries. The Nigerian government wants you to be aware and watch out against the spread of Ebola in your community. Help keep our country safe. And watch out for severe cases of fever, headaches, diarrhea, chest and abdominal pain, sore throat, cough, red eyes, and bleeding from the eyes, ears, and nose, especially when these symptoms are found in persons coming into Nigeria from other West African countries. Protect yourself. Wash your hands regularly with soap and running water, or use a hand sanitizer. Avoid contact with the blood, urine, feces, or saliva of animals like bats, monkeys, gorillas, chimpanzees, or infected persons. The Ebola virus is deadly. Don't catch it. Don't spread it. This message is brought to you by the Federal Ministry of Information.
You're watching CoreTV News on the Hour. A governorship aspirant on the platform of the People's Democratic Party, Seyi Makinde, has officially made known his intention to be the #1 citizen of Oyo State come 2015. Anita Vatunji was there and files in this report.
Present at the campaign rally are prominent members of the People's Democratic Party in Oyo State. The governorship hopeful Seyi Makinde says he was motivated by the passion to transform Oyo State into one of the leading states in Nigeria.
We want to chart a new future, a future of hope and brightness, a future of joy, a future of prosperity. And the time for a positive change is now. I therefore stand before you to announce my candidacy for the position of governor of Oyo State.
His supporters says Makinde is the right person to effect the change in Oyo State.
He can do more than that, more than expected. He can be the president of this nation. If he comes to be a governor, there will be a lot of changes in this state.
Majority of the residents spoken to says they need a governor that is not controversial, but one who understands the plight of the people. Anita Fatunji, CoreTV News, Ibadan.
Nigeria Deposit Insurance Corporation has in the last 25 years paid over 93 billion naira to Nigerians who lost money in failed banks. It also says about 81,000 verified depositors of 186 closed microfinance banks have received 2.7 billion naira as dividends. NDIC Managing Director Umaru Ibrahim presented the figures at a press briefing in Abuja to mark the corporation's 25th anniversary.
I have various figures pertaining to liquidation activities, the amount of deposits we paid for the various deposit money banks. I said today we have paid 6.8 billion to over 500,000 insured depositors of the 48 banks, deposit money banks in liquidation. We have also, as you know, have a set of 186 microfinance banks that were closed down about 3 years ago. We have paid over 2.7 billion in respect of over 80,000 depositors of those microfinance banks. And currently we are in the process of paying the depositors of the latest set of microfinance banks in liquidation. I think about 86 or thereabout of them. Generally speaking, the problems we always encounter in payment of insured and uninsured deposits is the fact that depositors do not easily come forward to file their claims.
We'll take another break and we'll be back. Don't worry.
This is Judiciary Today.
The judiciary's function is to interpret the law.
The judge in Lagos State is perhaps one of the most comfortable judges in the world.
You can't say because we are fighting terrorists or fighting terror, then you go about violating people's rights. We're not going to allow that in this country.
I think that's one of the reasons why some
that's what lawyers do.
I didn't say that what lawyers do.
The TV show that brings you in-depth review and analysis of judiciary issues that affect you.
I want police officers to welcome victims with empathy and not say, what were you wearing? Where did you go? What were you doing at 10 p.m. at night?
As the Nigeria judiciary mounts one of their own.
He has gone to court on behalf of Nigerian citizens even without taking a cover.
It is time for lawyers to take their health very seriously, lawyers and judges.
Only on CoreTV.
The United States-led coalition against Islamic State has targeted 12 oil refineries in Syria on a third night of airstrikes against the militants. Activists say raids carried out by United States, Saudi Arabia, and United Arab Emirates aircraft killed 14 of the group's fighters and 5 civilians in eastern Syria. According to the Pentagon, the refineries generated up to $2 million a day in revenue for the militants. In northern Syria, Kurdish forces say they have pushed back an Islamic State advance. U.S. President Barack Obama has vowed to dismantle the IS network of death. And that's it on this hour. Join us on top of the hour for more news and reports. I am Martin Dixon. Have a good day.